Hey Lobo fans, welcome back to the Lobo Podcast, episode 5. Today we'll be talking about leadership with 2 special guests, so you guys stay tuned. Hey everyone, welcome back to Lobo Podcast with Jaedyn Cerda and
Langston Murray.
Today we have 2 special guests with us, and I will let them introduce themselves, so go ahead.
Antonia Anderson, AT on the women's basketball team.
Saquan Singleton. I play for the men's basketball team.
So today we're going to talk about leadership because we are leaders within our team, and I will let Langston take this from here.
All right, guys. So today, leadership is going to be our main topic for this podcast, and I want to just start off with a few questions regarding leadership. The first one being like, what makes a good leader in your eyes? And we'll start with AT.
I would say someone that really leads by example. Like, it's more than just words. Like, you can say one thing, but if you're doing something else, like, people aren't going to want to follow you.
Right.
So a person that you see actually following through and, like I said, leading by example.
I say the same thing, leading by example, very passionate, hungry, doing the right things. It's just showing up, being the first one. Well, for basketball, really just being the first one in the gym, last one to leave,
Right.
and putting that extra work in.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like it's a lot of styles of leadership, you know what I mean? And me personally, I agree with you guys as well, obviously, but I'm vocal in a way, but not vocal, you know what I mean? I like to pull like my teammates aside. If it's a teammate that needs some kind of wisdom or they need someone to talk to, about them messing up with, practice and stuff like that, like I'll pull them to the side because some, they may feel embarrassed or they, a lot of emotions involved when everyone's watching, you know what I mean? So I like pulling them to the side and, I'll tell them exactly what they need to hear, stuff like that.
So, us 3, we play basketball. How is it?
Me too.
Here you go. How is it different from basketball and football? Like, what do you do? Because, you're separated from offense and things like that.
Right.
How do you be a leader to everyone?
It's possible to lead the whole team, obviously. If you're doing your job, you're doing your job, you know what I mean? But definitely offense does have their leaders that, are more hands-on with the offensive guys and the same with defense, obviously, and stuff like that. But everyone sees you working. Like, in the off-season, we're still one. You know what I mean? We're not separated until the season comes and then we're practicing on our different plays and stuff like that. But, I mean, in the off-season, we're all running those same gassers and doing the same conditioning. And that's where leadership is big also in the off-season. It's easy to get tired or feel like you can't go another rep or the weight's too heavy and stuff like that. And then so anybody has the opportunity to be a leader at that time. So, yeah.
Okay. So, us being leaders and stuff like that, when you guys have a bad game, how do you adjust to that and like continue to do something? How do you contribute on the court or on the field?
I would say, like, with basketball, there's so many other things you can be doing other than scoring. Like, stuff that doesn't show up on the score sheet, like just hustle plays. Like, you're diving on the floor. Like, we preach that in practice. Like, you have to dive on the floor because someone else can beat you to the ball.
Yeah.
So I would think things like that, passing the ball around, like just making the right decisions, getting stops on defense, like that doesn't show up on the stat sheet, but if your personal matchup against who's ever, like I played the 3, the person that I'm guarding, like they have 4 points that game.
Yeah.
I did my job.
Yeah.
I say just contribute to other things, Don't focus on one thing. If another person is hot or scoring a lot, just help giving that person the ball, just being a good teammate, talk to each other. It's not really all about just scoring to have a good game, It's different aspects in the field, so I feel like you could do different things to have a good game instead of scoring.
I agree.
And with us being athletes, it's always possible to have a bad game, stuff like that. But the most important thing is having a short-term memory when you're having a bad game and stuff like that. And it's always taking care of your 111. That's what we call it, the 111 in football, which would be the 1/5 in basketball, just taking care of your job, you know what I mean? And it may not be the glory part of things. It may not be actually scoring. It may not be actually dunking. It may just be making a good pass. So, yeah.
What's 111?
It's 11 players on the field.
That's why you said 1/5.
You learn something new every day.
Every day.
Well, like, so how do you feel, like being on the defensive end? Like, do y'all like encourage the offense? Like, I know y'all are on field at different times, but like, how do you handle if, like, say the defense is going good and the offense is struggling? Like, how do you handle that?
We just try to put like the weight on our shoulders. You know what I mean? Obviously, it gets to a point where you control what you can control. I'm not a quarterback. I'm not a receiver. I'm not none of those things. And we just have to. Like we pride ourselves on just not letting the other team score. You know what I mean? If they can't score, they can't win, regardless of whether we're scoring or not, or we're making plays on offense or not. We just keep putting it on us. And then furthermore, we try to score on defense. You know what I mean? And we try to catch an interception, take it for a touchdown, and things like that. We just, like I said, just put the weight on our shoulders because we all won here. So if the offense is struggling, then that means the defense is struggling.
Oh, do y'all all know each other? Like, do you know everybody on your team?
Oh yeah, everybody know me, man.
Of course, everybody knows you.
Right. And just me in general, man. Like I can have a conversation with a complete stranger that I have nothing in common with.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like, obviously on the football team, it's a big team. It's probably right under 100 maybe, or we might be at 100. You know what I mean? So you get you got nerds, you got the wannabe thugs, you know what I mean? You got the cool guys, you got the quiet ones.
Yeah,
so
sure.
I'm cool with everybody, bro, and I know how to adapt to any conversation that I'm at. So
that's tough, yeah, for sure.
How would you say we have like groups?
I don't know. I feel like it's easier because, like, our team bonding, it's 13 people compared to 100. Like, how do y'all team bond with 100 people on your team?
They do groups, wide receivers, linebackers.
I mean, everybody got their own little cliques, you know what I mean, that they hang with. And it's like, it's all love, you know what I'm saying, above a certain standard, like we all family. Mm-hmm. But to be honest with you, it's some teammates that I don't care what they're doing on Saturday night. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not gonna, you know what I mean? Respectfully. Now, if I see you, now if I bump into you, then what's up, bro? You know, but like, we all just kind of hang with who we hang with and stuff like that. I feel like everybody come out smooth with it,
Okay, so now that I'm thinking about it, do you guys have any foreigners on y'all's team? Because I know basketball does.
And if I'm missing you, don't take it as disrespect, but I can't think of any. I know a couple years ago we had Tyson Dyer. That was a punter. I believe everybody's American.
I didn't think about that.
That's what I'm saying. I didn't either until I just.
Yeah, it's common though. Like it's possible. You get a lot of punters from Australia and stuff like that, but
okay.
I can't think of any foreigners right now.
Do other countries play football?
No.
It's called football.
Closest you get to it is probably rugby, honestly.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, that's soccer, huh?
That's why it ain't in the Olympics, because everybody ain't playing football. That's just that's America's game. You know what I mean?
That accent.
Oh wow. Okay. Okay. So you mentioned there's like a lot of personalities within the program. Right. How do you adjust to them?
Well, it's not even necessarily us adjusting to them.
Yeah.
We all have to be we have to be aligned with the team. Mm-hmm. No one's like their single person. You know what I mean? So like we all have to like answer to the coach. And stuff like that. Like Coach G says it all the time. Like we're one. No one's bigger than the team. No one's better than the team. We're all one, from the weakest link to the strongest link. So it's more of us conforming to what the team, the team standards are.
Okay.
I think it starts in the off season. Like that's when you really learn each other.
Yeah.
So like either when we have smaller group workouts, like that's when you learn how your teammates like react to criticism, or like do they want to be yelled at? Do they want to be pulled aside? That's really when you have to understand like how does your teammate respond to certain things, because you don't want to be yelling at a person who like freezes up or like breaks down.
Yeah.
That's the person you want to be able to pull aside and be like, hey, it's okay, relax.
That has to be the same thing with basketball too, though, right? You know what I mean? Like it's on a smaller scale, but I mean I know all of y'all are not the exact same. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
somebody don't like being coached. Other ones probably very coachable and stuff like that. So.
Yeah. Coach Mike, our head coach, he handles people different.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Like he'll start yelling at someone, and I think he'll realize like, oh, I can't yell at this person.
Right.
And then he'll like pull them aside. Come here. Just come here real quick. While other people like me, he'll just yell at me, and I'll be like, okay, I got you.
And honestly, that's the same way with like being a leader. Just like I tell you, like I'll pull some guys to the side because some of them can't handle it in public. Whatever it is about being in public, it just triggers them to just react in like a fight or flight way, and they choose to fight. You know what I mean? So like, pulling some aside definitely.
How do you think you guys learn how to talk to your teammates? Do you guys like yell at them and see that they're not gonna like respond well, and that's how you learn, hey, I gotta like talk to them to the side? Or would you rather ask them? Like
honestly, it's like just understanding what their weakness is. Is their weakness like, do they get frustrated when they can't do the play right? And is that when they like feel like the world is against them? You know what I mean? Stuff like that. You just got to know who you're dealing with. And over time, like, we in the locker room, we joking, and you just see that real person, man. We all know our teammates. We are family, you know what I mean? So, like, you just learn it over time, honestly.
Yeah, like personality. Like, you can tell, like, some people are very nonchalant, so you can yell at them because it's not going to faze them. Or it's other people who are, like, very emotional, and you know you can't yell at them because they're an emotional person naturally.
Right.
Yeah.
I think it comes from your background, where you come from, what you've been through, your high school career, you know, throughout your sports life, you know. I feel like some kids been through a lot, you know, through high school, probably not have the best high school career, and college they're trying to change that, and I feel like screaming and all that, it don't work for everybody. So
Yeah.
I feel like, I don't know, some people take things different. If you scream at somebody may be motivated by it, but I don't know, it's different out here, I ain't gonna lie.
We all leaders, as we, you know, discussed and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But when we're having a problem, like, who is that one person you guys feel like you can go to or you can talk to and discuss, like, what decisions you need to make? You know what I mean?
Like staff or like outside of the basketball, like parents and things like that.
Yeah, there's no rules to it, just overall.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would say Free. He is the director of operations. I work out with him every day. So whenever I have like problems, like trying to, you know, decide things, I do go to him and I'm like, hey, should I do this, that? And, you know, he gives me what he thinks. So I would say that's my person that I go to.
I would say it depends on the situation.
Okay, that's a good point too, yeah.
I have 2 assistant coaches that I really go to, like Simone and Cabrina. It really depends. Like last week when we had a bad practice, like right before the game, and like I was just frustrated. Like I went to Brina and we literally just had a conversation after practice for like 20 minutes. And she just broke everything down for me and was like, really just helped me understand what I needed to do better. Because sometimes you just need to have that conversation, like when you just don't understand. Because I was quite confused, like what is going on at this point? Like we have a game tomorrow and we just look a mess.
Right.
Yeah.
So like sometimes, like as a leader, you need help too. And I think a lot of people don't realize that. Like you can go and ask for help.
For sure. I feel like as a leader, I just go straight to my head coach, Pitino, you know. Really trying to build that bond with him, so he wouldn't know right or wrong. It comes down to his answer, so I feel like just going straight to him, just talking it up, chop it up with him, good or bad, I feel like I just go to him first.
Yeah, our coach is pretty approachable too, you know what I mean? Like if I have any questions, I definitely ask him, but other than that, you know, I just got like certain teammates again, you know, who we hang with within the team, you know what I mean? I just talk to my guys about anything. For the most part, I am introverted, you know what I mean? I do like to just solve my own problems, you know what I mean? And I feel like I do a good job at it, you know, but
Good job.
yeah, you know, I feel like, you know, I handle business. So,
Yeah.
you know.
So there's a lot of coaches within the football program.
Correct.
Who would you go to if you needed to talk to? Would you go to your like position coach or like what coach would you go to?
Good question. It'd probably be my position coach or the head coach.
Okay.
Both of them are very, you know, approachable and
Yeah.
they, you know, they always keep it real with you, especially the head coach, especially Coach G, you know. He always gonna keep it solid with you, and I like that kind of energy that, you know, he ain't gonna always tell you what you want to hear, but it may be exactly what you need to hear. You know what I mean? And that's the best friend that you can always trust when they tell you things that you don't want to hear at times.
Yeah.
You know, if you got a yes man in your corner, then that could eventually hurt you at some point in time. You know
I
what
agree.
mean? So, guys, as a leader, how do you think your teammates view you?
Ooh, spice it up a little bit.
I hope my teammates think I'm a great leader. I think I pick and choose my moments. Like I can tell when I need to be very vocal or when I just need to go on the court and just do my part. So I hope they look at me and realize like I like to read the situation a lot instead of just jumping to conclusion and doing something. But I've noticed like a lot of the freshmen come to the side and like ask me questions. Like they just think I have all the answers all the time.
Right?
And sometimes I'm just like, honestly, I don't even have an answer for you.
Great question,
I
though.
just be like, go ask him. Go ask the head coach. So I don't know. I guess they just think that I'm a know-it-all sometimes.
Well, I mean, we've been here 5 years.
Yeah.
Well, I think I hope my teammates think I'm approachable, you know. Some of my teammates definitely come up to me a lot, especially the freshmen, but I'm open-minded to all the players, but I'm myself. I'm going to be me, whether you're good or bad. I'm not going to change up just because you're my mans, if you're my best friend, or I don't like you. I'm just trying to win just as much as you're trying to win. So I feel like I know I could talk to anybody. I could talk to my coaches. You know, they be telling me to talk to the coaches for them, but they grown now. They're at college level. Like, you got to go do what you got to do. Like,
Yeah.
That is so true.
it's going to be a time. I'm not going to be here. You probably fill my shoes in. So
Right.
I'm just trying to prepare them for the next level that they're at now. So
I actually saw a tweet that Patino said that you were like a great leader. Like you're always involved with them and all that type of stuff. So
for sure.
that's really good. How the teammates view me. I feel like they're like probably like, Jaedyn, shut up, because I'm always talking. Like I'm always like, come on guys, blah, blah, blah. You know, I always try to keep the energy, try to pump it up a little bit when it needs to be needed. I do answer some questions here and there. Maybe sometimes they right, maybe sometimes they're wrong. I'm gonna tell you the truth, but I do answer them. Like I would just say I think my teammates view me as like a little energy ball. You know what I mean? Just around practice.
Right. Like I said, I agree with at AT and Saquan on like how the freshmen they basically look up to you, in a sense, you know what I mean? And I have no problem giving any of the freshmen any of the game I got. I'm gonna teach you everything. So like, because we getting old, and when we leave here, I'm trying to see you doing the same moves that I did, or something like that. You just always had that connection with them or whatever. So it's just always good to just drop knowledge on a freshman and stuff like that. But I think they view me as a genuine leader for sure. You know what I mean? They know I'm a joke. They know I'm a play whatever. But I got your back like nobody else. At the end of the day. And on that field, you can trust me to do my job. You know what I mean? Because like, honestly, I'm a type of person. I'm gonna play right up till kickoff. I'm gonna be joking right up until kickoff. You know what I mean? That's just how I don't have to be serious and just mean phase right before a game and stuff like that. It's not how I move.
I feel you.
Because once somebody else is in front of me, it's me or you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like that's the elephant in the room right there. But yeah, I think they view me as a genuine leader for sure.
I do be smiling on the court all the time.
I feel
Never
like
serious.
If you're serious before a game, I'm gonna be like, what's wrong with you?
I'm trying to get ready. No, don't
Not
do
like that.
How do you guys think you become a leader? Do you guys think it's like you're born with it? Do you grow over time and start to realize like I could be a leader? What do you think it is?
I feel like the best leader happens organically. You know what I mean? Just like either you got it in you or you don't. Because we've all witnessed someone try to be a leader and then not necessarily. You know what I mean? Like just kind of just saying all the words and stuff like that. And you just feel that energy. But when somebody's genuinely leading you, you feel that as well. And like it works. You know what I mean? It motivates you and stuff like that. So, yeah.
I think it's also based off your personality. Like, if it's someone that already doesn't really talk, like, how are you going to try to lead from just not talking at all?
Yeah.
Or like a quiet person. I don't know. I guess maybe it's just me. Like I respond to yelling. So if you're just whispering and I'm looking at you like, what are you even saying?
Yeah.
I'm not going to be able to like respond to that or think that it's like a motivator for me.
Yeah.
So Saquan, you took the JUCO route, right?
Yeah, I took JUCO.
So tell us a little bit about that, about your journey as, coming out of high school to going JUCO and now.
High school, I was probably one of the top kids in high school, so I had the little mindset like I don't need school. School is just, it's school. Like,
right.
Who wants to do school? Senior year, that caught up to me. I committed to a school called Manhattan College in New York, and I couldn't go because my grades was bad. So I had to go prep school before I went JUCO. People don't know I went prep school for 3 months. Went prep school. That didn't work out for me, so I said, all right, bet I'm going to go JUCO. So I went JUCO. It was a grind. Every day it was a grind. I was there for 2.5 years. I won't say miserable, but I was mad because I wasn't supposed to be there. But at the end of the day, God put me there, and he put me in a position to get another chance. So I was grinding it out. I met Justin, that's your man,
Yeah.
I met Just. He was top football player in Hutch. We talked about D1s, talking about what we're going to do when we get to the next level. But, that JUCO route, it's not for everybody. And it's a hungry route. And I took that route, and I'm blessed I took that route. So now I'm here,
Yeah. I heard a lot of JUCO stories, man. I hear some bad things. Y'all eating bad cafeteria food,
it's
the whole
crazy.
thing. So, like,
it's crazy.
Always much respect to the JUCO.
It's crazy for sure.
So, like, we have people that went JUCO on our team, like the twins.
Yeah.
And, like, you can see it in them.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they have, like, a different mentality. Like, do you feel like that comes with JUCO?
Yeah, that definitely comes with JUCO. It's the hunger in you. It's like, I'm supposed to be at the D1 level, D2 level, whatever level you want to be at, but you at JUCO. It's probably not because your grades. It's probably because you made the wrong choice. But it's like nobody want to be in junior college. But the best thing about junior college, it prepare you for the next level, and you could get your associate's degree at the same time. So that's the flip side of it.
I feel like on the outside looking in, like no one necessarily wanted to go JUCO. You know, they just end up having to, whether it was grades or stuff like that, or just didn't get the offer that they wanted. So everybody probably has like a selfish mindset to a certain extent. You know, if we're being honest, everyone wants to make it out. So they all need these points. They all need to score and, you know, put these highlights up and stuff like that. So
That's a good point.
I feel like they just kind of come with the game of JUCO. You know what I mean? Everybody kind of selfish. Now, it's possible to still be a team because you have to be a team at the end of the day. You know what I mean? Regardless of whether you playing for yourself or you playing for the jersey that you're wearing. You know what I mean? So
you just got to get yours at the end of the day.
Right.
That's JUCO. You got to get yours. Like,
Right.
it's about team, but you want to go to that next level, you got to get yours for sure.
Yeah.
Going back to the different leadership styles we were just talking about, AT, you've had an injury and you had to like coach from the sideline. You know, I had an injury as well, but like, how did you coach us?
I think the first thing is like, it's hard and people don't want to admit that. It's really hard to sit on the sideline and just watch because you literally can't do anything. And it took me a while to be like, I can't sit on the sideline and just sulk about it and be in my feelings. So I had to I think I just took the mentality of like taking people under my wing and like pulling the freshmen aside, like, come here real quick. Let me tell you this. Like this, because the coaches can't be everywhere all the time. And they can't coach everybody. So pulling them aside and telling them sometimes I can demonstrate when I was able to move better. So doing things like that. On the sideline, I was keeping score. I was cheering, like just to stay involved and still feel a part of the team, just finding whatever I could.
Yeah.
I'm still in the soaking stage right now. I ain't even gonna lie to you. Like it's tough waking up 9:30 knowing you're not practicing, you know, just watching them practice. But at the same time, I'm just trying to be there for my team. I'm trying to win. When they running up and down, I'm on the court, like literally standing on the court just to feel like I'm playing. But I don't know. I'm not trying to make it all about myself because it's not about just me. So right now I'm at the stage where I'm just helping the freshmen, people that the transfers, you know, just trying to help out as much as I could.
Yeah. It's definitely about your mindset.
Mm-hmm. How you approach it.
Yeah, because I mean, like I said, I had to have conversations like with my coaches, like, am I even going to come back? Because like I was in this point where I was like, I don't even know if my knee is going to be 100%. Like, am I going to play enough games this year? So like at one point I was even going to be like a player coach and just redshirt. So it's just about your mindset and like how do you want to help the team? You still want the team to be successful. Like you're still on the roster.
Mm-hmm.
Like you still, if your team won a championship, you still get that ring. And you want to be able to be like, well, I helped in this way. Like you weren't just on the sideline watching.
Yeah.
That's a fact.
I definitely feel like, you know, everyone deserves that soaking stage, you know what I mean? Like,
oh yeah.
It's a tough, slate to have, you know. It's hard to understand, you know, when you lose the sport that you done played since you was a little one. So, but obviously at some point you need to transition into, you know, just helping your team, you know, and that's just when it wears off, if that's what it is, or, you know, things like that. So, you know.
Yeah.
So I want to talk a little bit about you guys' different cultures within your team. Have they changed since when you first got here? And if they have, like, in what way? Better, worse, you know? Talk about your culture, your team culture.
I would say, like, our team has changed literally year to year.
Oh, yeah.
Like, drastically. Like, you would think that we didn't have... I mean, I guess we have. We've had a lot of transfers.
We've seen a lot.
We've seen a lot of people come in and out. And we've, like, even our head coach has changed since my freshman year.
Mm-hmm.
We've had bad culture, good culture. I don't know. We've had to go through some things. Like even last year, it was amazing. We won, but honestly, like our culture was not the best. We had teammates that weren't really teammates, and that's really hard to deal with, especially when you're like we were living on the road. But I wouldn't trade that experience for anything, honestly, because that right there really brought us together as a team. Like living on the road and being in hotels 24/7 where you can't even leave your room. You're just literally with your roommate. Like that's an experience. And I think that was really important for us winning because it really brought us together. Like we spent a lot of time together just hanging out, not even leaving the hotel itself. We're in the hallways singing happy birthday. Like, trying to whisper because we don't want to get in trouble. So it's been a journey for these 5 years, and it's definitely changed a lot.
Only been here for 2 years, but the last year, it was crazy. It was sheesh. It was crazy. That was a tough year, but we learned from it. We had our up and downs. We got new people this year. Some people, we got some freshmen that's from across the country. We got transfers, from big schools. So it was just like we still trying to grasp each other. But I feel like this year the culture gonna be different, especially with Bettino being there. Trying to change the culture. I don't know, but last year it was. I don't got a word for it. I don't want to badmouth nobody, but it just it was tough. Some people stopped playing, some people quit. I don't know for their reasons, but we ended with 7 people at the end of the year. Had me jumping ball, 5-man. I was playing a 5 center, so it was the culture was different. But I feel like Bettino and this team this year is trying to change the whole program around for sure.
You could definitely see it, just like being like social on Twitter and things like that, trying to get everybody to come to like games and scrimmages and things like that, which can really, I think, is a start for the community. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think the culture of UNM has changed, like athletics.
Oh, yeah.
Literally, you see all of us as athletes posting each other, going to support each other at games, and it used to not be like that. Like, everyone is going to watch somebody play, and actually, like, getting to know other athletes in other sports instead of staying within your own sport has
become a thing.
Yeah.
I definitely done seen every side of, losing, since I've been here. And there's a lot that goes into losing behind the scenes that no one really sees. Everybody sees the numbers stacked on the right side of the record column, but it's a lot that goes into losing. You got selfish guys, you got guys that's not thinking about the team, you got fighting with coaches and, all kind of stuff. And I done, seen or witnessed firsthand Coach Gonzalez coming here and really, weed all that stuff out. You know what I mean? You really got to come in here and clean house. When you got like a losing program like that, you got to start from the, the ground up, and you got to come in here and basically step on everybody's toes. And if you're not with us, then you're against us, so you need to leave. You know what I mean? So I done seen some tough decisions been made since I've been here and stuff like that. But everyone that stayed, we definitely, are aware that it's for the better, right? You know what I mean? But like just being here, like it's been a culture shock for sure. You know what I mean? Because it takes a different kind of mindset to win. You know what I mean? You can get used to losing, or you can get like caught up in like, just thinking losing is okay when in reality it's not. You know what I mean? So I'm just happy to, just be at the tail of this, because obviously I'm on my way out of here. I only got a couple years left, if that, you know what I mean? But like just to be somewhat a part of what's, cooking up right now is a blessing, honestly.
We've all had coaches leave before. How would you guys say that you and your team adjust to it?
It's a business, you know what I mean? And probably as a freshman, that's harder to kind of understand because you're coming out of high school. But even nowadays, I feel like some high schools are a business too, you know what I mean? But like, that's honestly a part of the game, you know what I mean? The first one might hurt, like, my friend Marcus Hayes, he transferred, you know what I mean? But you just got to understand, like, that's a business, and this is my roommate freshman year, and we talking about how we going to be all Mount West together, this. And then a deal comes, and he has to make the best decision for Marcus Hayes, you know what I mean, and stuff like that. So, like, it ain't no hard feelings to any coach. That's part of the game, them recruiting you, telling you what you want to hear or whatever to get here. And if a bigger bag comes, then,
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I know. We haven't lost our head coach, thankfully.
Oh, thank God. Yeah.
But we've lost assistant coaches, and I ain't gonna lie, the biggest loss to me was when we lost our trainer and she left. And obviously that was the best decision for her, but it's hard when you've been with that person since you freshman year. Like, she literally was the only reason I was able to come back early from my knee injury, and that was rough when she said that she was leaving. And I think you just have to put it in perspective. Like, it's not about you.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So when they make that decision, you just have to be happy for them. Obviously, I keep in touch with her. Do the best you can just to keep that relationship with them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's tough. For me, I had 3 different head coaches in the last 3 years. So each year I had a different coach. So I had to learn a system. But at the end of the day, it's a business. So really can't get caught up in that mentality. I got to just do what's best for me. Or whatever coach I'm there with, just rock out with that coach. But I always, keep a relationship with each coach, whether we had a bad turn, good turn, because you never know in life. They could probably help you down the road. So, it's tough losing a coach regardless, you know. Putting your oil into a coach, then next thing you know, they're leaving. But it's a business. Can't get too caught up in that.
But, I mean, I also feel like it teaches you a lot about yourself. You know what I mean? Because, like, I don't know about basketball, but, like, in football, you can have different schemes that require you to do different things athletically. You know what I mean? And you could have been recruited to do this, to shoot just a 3, but now we need you driving it and stuff like that. And for me, that was, you get where I'm going. You know what I mean? And, like, with Coach Gonzalez coming here and stuff like that, they brought a different defense than what I was recruited for and stuff like that. I was a heavier guy coming out of high school, and I was supposed to take on, double teams and stuff like that and just basically plug a gap. We ain't got to get too much into the football talk and stuff like that, but now I have to be more athletic. And that translated to me having to lose 40 pounds and that kind of thing. So I didn't even play last year and stuff like that, but it taught me that I can adapt, to like my environment. And I feel like that's always a good thing to be capable of. So.
Oh yeah, like you said, it teaches you a lot about yourself. Like you over here thinking you can't do certain things, and then next thing you know, you're doing them, and like wow, like you just learn a lot about yourself.
It's like trusting your coach. Sorry.
Oh no, you go ahead.
I don't know. Just like my freshman year, and I came in and.
Post player.
Yeah, like I'm not a post player, and based off the roster and the pieces that we had, I had to be a post player. And at the end of the year, I had to make a tough decision. Like, do I want to buy into this or do I want to go somewhere else? And buying into it, the next year I was playing where I felt like I should be. And I think you just have to trust your coaches. Like, they're not going to put you in a bad position on purpose.
Oh yeah.
So we was talking about leadership. How do you be a leader in a community knowing that you playing for your home state? How does that feel?
Just when I first came here, I was like one of the best players in New Mexico. And then I came here and I didn't play. So it was like really hard on me, so on, so on. After a while, I just like got out of my feelings and I was like, if I want it, like I got to go get it. Like I got to grind for it. So, started working out consistently. And I think that really changed my mindset because I started getting more confident in myself, which led me to like being confident on the court and just like helping others. Hey, you're supposed to be here doing this, doing that, or just, encouraging other people when things aren't going right. It's a privilege just being from New Mexico and just being able to represent UNM and women's basketball, stuff like that. So, yeah.
I feel like you changed the culture of that because, like, obviously now we have VNA on our team, and she's from New Mexico. And before I got here, I don't think that a whole bunch of people from New Mexico stayed in New Mexico and played for UNM.
Yeah.
And I think Jaedyn pushed people to want to do that. Like, I think there's pride in being able to stay home and play for your home state, especially in, New Mexico. There's no professional sport team, so they look at UNM like we're the big attraction here. So,
I agree. That's a really good point you made there. People don't know this about me, but like I'm from like a very, very small town. At heart, a country boy. I used to have to feed pigs and cows before I went to school and stuff like that. So like,
for real?
Yeah, small town. You know what I mean? I was 1A. You know what I mean? Like my school was 1A.
Small.
I graduated with like probably roughly like 52 people max. So like, what I'm getting at is like how she's motivating VNA, right? How she's motivating her to stay home. I want people to think that like being like going 12 hours away from home is not like a bad thing, right? You know what I mean? Like, because people can think like that's too far, you know, or Albuquerque's too big, you know what I mean? And they could be scared of the thought of something new, you know what I mean? So like, I feel like motivating, you know what I'm saying, my community and stuff like that, it happened way before I became a Lobo, you know what I mean? I was leading back then, you know what I mean? Just like being one of the few guys to ever just go Division I from my school and stuff like that. So like, obviously they playing through me.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? So like the pressure never make it to them, it just stays with me, you know, whether that's making sure that I do ball out, you know what I mean, or do make them proud and stuff like that, or do just step on that field, you know, every Saturday. You know what I mean? So like the pressure is on me, but like they just living through me. You know what I mean? So yeah.
For sure.
You can definitely still lead your community from afar.
Yeah.
Like I go back home, and every time I go home, I make sure I go back to my high school and I talk to the high school students there. They always ask me tons of questions, like about going D1, about recruiting, like basically just how to get there. And I think that's big. Like kids under you want to see that they can make it out and not stay in the same city or same state, and just go somewhere else and experience something new.
Yeah.
It gives them hope for sure.
Yeah.
Definitely give them hope. It's crazy because I'm in New York. We didn't know nothing about New Mexico. Like, I'm not even going to lie. To this day, people ask me, like, can I come see you? Do I need a passport?
Yeah. I hate that question.
I'm in New Mexico, but
one of the 50 states.
But it's good. That's what I wanted. I wanted to go to a different culture. Like, I'm from the city. Like, I don't see mountains. I don't see the white sands, desert and stuff. So when I see stuff like that, it's just like, I think I made it out already because I seen something different that I'm used to tall buildings. I live in a project. I don't see nice houses and stuff like this. I live in the city, so that's my motivation to see other things. You know, I just trying to keep that going for the young kids, you know, back at home. So that's a fact.
See, I want to go to New York.
I've never been, but
Me neither.
New York and Miami, them two places.
Yeah. I like buildings.
What?
I don't see buildings here, so me and Saquan are different. He wants to see mountains. I want to see buildings and different cultures. All right, so it's time for Jaedyn's question of the week. What's a question you wish people would ask when they meet you for the first time? Very tough question, yeah.
Most people just ask me, like, do you want to go to WNBA? Like, I wish people would, I guess, stray away from after college that you're just going to go pro. Like, why can't you ask me, what do I want to do in life?
Yeah. See, that's what motivated me too. Honestly.
Like, why can't you ask me, what kind of job do I want to get?
Okay.
Like, you might be able to give me connections, but you two be worried about if I want to go play pro. I need a job. So, yeah. I do want to stay around sports, but right now I'm getting a master's in HR, human resources. So I want to do something like in college sports in HR, I guess, like help change cultures. Because I guess there's a bad stigma with HR, which I didn't know. Because my dad is in it. So I always thought like it's a good department to be in, but I guess not. But I want to change the stigma of it and be around colleges, either sports or just the college in general.
I get asked probably 20, 30 times a day, how tall are you? Are you a hooper?
Yep.
Can you dunk? So I really wish people ask me, like, where's your mental health? Like, how are you?
Okay.
Where you at in life? Like, are you okay? Is you getting through life? Like, so that's what I say. That's what I come up with. So
that's a good one.
About it.
Yeah, that.
Just ask me how I am.
Yeah.
Like, why does it have to be about like how am I doing in basketball? Why can't it just be how I'm doing?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So now that he mentions that, next time you see somebody, you're gonna, hey, how are you?
Yeah. I naturally would do
that.
You know what I mean?
Like, naturally, how are you? And they'd be like, good, how are you? Yeah.
And I don't even make it no hard feelings towards the people that ask me the generic questions. You probably a fan, and that's the only thing you can just really think of. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
You probably not even an athlete, so you don't really know what it feels like. So you just got the generic question that you know you're gonna ask. You know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't ask LeBron that if I met him because I know better. But you know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm definitely not asking
because I know
right. You know what I mean? I know better than that, but the average person probably would. But. So Saquan, you mentioned how like you would like somebody to ask you about your mental health versus can you dunk and stuff like that. So like, tell us a little bit about your mental health these last 2 weeks. Obviously it's just like a devastating piece of news to get that you can't play your sport and stuff like that. So just tell us how you doing right now.
At this point, I'm good now. A lot of people reached out to me, the fans, my teammates, my coaches, family. Went back home to see my family and stuff. But the last 2 weeks has been tough for me, knowing that I'm not gonna be on the court to compete with my teammates. It's not what I wanted to hear, but at the same time, I had to put my health first. It's a big deal. Found out after COVID. I had heart problems, so we did a couple MRI tests and everything. I'm not saying here say it's because of COVID. I'm not saying here saying it's because the what they call it, the vaccine.
Right.
So I don't want nobody to get assumptions thinking. I see everybody saying, "Oh, you should never took this, you should never did that." We don't know where it's coming from. So, but right now my mental health is better. You know, just trying to. First of all, I'm just glad to be here. I want to thank God I'm still here because, you know, it could have been all over with.
Right.
So. You know, the doctor sat me out for some time. We still don't know how long. You know, he could have said basketball is over with. So I say my mental health is good. I'm just happy to be here. I'm on the good podcast that's starting up. You know, I'm just keep working. You know, try to get healthy, just staying strong, and just still be a leader to my teammates. You know, so I'm just happy to be here. Me and KJ, you know, we doing a podcast. Everybody don't know KJ's KJ Jenkins. He on a basketball team. He went JUCO too, so we just got similar backgrounds. So we just thought about just doing a podcast, you know, from people back home, New York, Atlanta, even Albuquerque, even everywhere else, people that's tuned into us. Just being us, you know. So we doing that soon. First vid soon drop, and just taking it from there. But I definitely do appreciate y'all for having me, you know.
And what's the name of that podcast?
The Safest Place.
Okay.
Yeah, The Safest Place.
So all you fans be on the lookout for the Safest Place podcast.
Sure, yes,
We'll
sir.
definitely be tuned in over here at the Lobo Pod for sure.
For sure. Definitely tune in Lobo for sure. Got to.
All right, guys. We definitely enjoyed having you two on the show today. AT, any last things you want to say?
It was fun. Thanks for having me.
Saquan.
Appreciate y'all for having me. To the Lobo fans, let's pack the pit.
Yeah.
You know, let's pack the game Saturday, UNLV. Start off a good weekend.
All right, Lobo fans, we are going to end this with a few announcements and shout-outs. Big shout-out to Women's Cross Country for winning their 14th conference championship. This Thursday, women's basketball do have a game at 7 p.m., so if you're free, come out and support. As well as women's soccer playing in the Mountain West tournament at 11 a.m., so feel free to tune in. Men's basketball do play New Mexico Highlands this Friday at 7. In football, we do have a game this Saturday, November 6th, and it is homecoming versus UNLV. So if you're free, again, just come out and support. We need the stadium packed, so fill it up with red.
Pack the pit, pack the stadium.
Oh, yeah.
Let's get it.
Everybody get a dub.
Yes, sir.
That wraps up another episode on the Lobo Pod, and we'll see you next week. Thank you for listening.